Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Rheumatoid Arthritis webinar. Today, we are going to discuss regarding conquering rheumatoid arthritis. This webinar has been arranged courtesy Pfizer. This webinar is of 1 hour duration. During the first 45 minutes or so, मैं आपसे rheumatoid arthritis के बारे में और उसको ओवरकम करने के बारे में डिस्कशन करूंगा. And last 15 minutes or so, we will spend on answering your questions. So please be ready with your questions. You can type in your questions in the question box and I will try to address them at the end. आप सोच रहे होंगे कि क्या यह मुमकिन भी है कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस के ऊपर जीत पाना. मैं आपको बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस से कह सकता हूं कि वी लिव इन वेरी एक्साइटिंग टाइम्स एंड वी हैव एक्सेस टू सम वेरी गुड ट्रीटमेंट ऑप्शंस एंड इट इज पॉसिबल टू ओवरकम and conquer rheumatoid arthritis even in the midst of the COVID pandemic. आर्थराइटिस शब्द ग्रीक भाषा से लिया गया है. आर्थ इन ग्रीक मीन्स जॉइंट एंड आइटिस मीन्स इन्फ्लेमेशन. सो आर्थराइटिस इज इन्फ्लेमेशन इन एंड अराउंड द जॉइंट्स. आपको यह जान के आश्चर्य होगा कि आर्थराइटिस इज नॉट ए सिंगल डिजीज. यह किसी एक बीमारी का नाम नहीं है, बट इट रेफर्स टू ए ग्रुप ऑफ मोर देन 200 डिजीजेस. और depending on the cause, these diseases can be classified into 4 broad categories. 4 main categories में divide कर सकते हैं हम इसको. Autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, ankylosing spondylitis, etc., etc. Deposition diseases जैसे कि gout, जिसमें यूरिक एसिड क्रिस्टल जॉइंट के अंदर एंड सराउंडिंग टिश्यूज में डिपॉजिट हो जाते हैं. ड्यू टू इन्फेक्शंस, जिसमें कोई ऑर्गेनिज्म जॉइंट को इन्वेड कर देता है जैसे कि ट्यूबरकुलोसिस. एंड वियर एंड टियर आर्थराइटिस लाइक ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस. आज हम रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस के बारे में कुछ डिटेल में चर्चा करेंगे. रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस इज अ autoimmune inflammatory condition affecting the joints. So how does it occur? Rheumatoid arthritis होता कैसे है? It occurs when the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues. इंडिया में यह 0.7% पॉपुलेशन में होती है and worldwide it occurs in about 1% of the general population. Rheumatoid arthritis both men and women दोनों को afflict कर सकती है, but it is 2 to 3 times more common in women. Rheumatoid arthritis can occur at any age, but the average age is between 48 to 60 years. आइए आगे जानिए कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस में एग्जैक्टली जॉइंट के अंदर क्या चल रहा है, कैसे क्या प्रोसेस जॉइंट के अंदर हो रहा है. रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस प्राइमरीली अफेक्ट्स द लाइनिंग, जॉइंट लाइनिंग, जिसे हम साइनोवियम कहते हैं. So this synovium gets inflamed, swollen, leading to a painful swollen joint, and this synovium releases chemicals जिसको हम मेडिकल भाषा में साइटोकाइन्स कहते हैं. And if these are not treated adequately, they can lead to joint destruction and deformity. In the early stages, rheumatoid arthritis जो फिंगर्स और टोज के छोटे जॉइंट्स हैं उनको अफेक्ट करता है. As the disease progresses, it can spread to other joints like the wrist, elbows, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles. आर्थराइटिस, रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का सिर्फ एक सिम्टम है. इसका मतलब क्या कि जॉइंट पेन सिर्फ एक लक्षण है रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का. रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस बॉडी के डिफरेंट पार्ट्स को अफेक्ट कर सकता है. इन द ब्लड वेसल्स इट कैन कॉज द आर्टरीज टू हार्डन by absorbing more cholesterol and forming plaques. In eyes, it can cause dryness, pain, redness, blurred vision, or sensitivity to light. Heart disease can lead to chest pain. Lung involvement can lead to breathing problems. जॉइंट्स के अंदर रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस के कारण पेन और मॉर्निंग स्टिफनेस, रेडनेस एंड वॉर्म एंड स्वेलिंग के ये लक्षण देखने को मिलते हैं। पर जैसे कि हमने पहले बात की कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस सिर्फ एक जॉइंट्स का रोग नहीं है, ऑल्दो प्रिडोमिनेंटली इट अफेक्ट्स द जॉइंट, बट a patient with rheumatoid arthritis can have different symptoms, और इसमें से कुछ और जो लक्षण देखने को मिलते हैं वो ड्राइनेस ऑफ आईज एंड माउथ, फैटीग और टायर्डनेस, माइल्ड फीवर, लंप्स और नोड्यूल्स अंडर द स्किन जिसको हम रूमेटॉइड नोड्यूल्स के नाम से जानते हैं, numbness or tingling in the arms or leg, and poor appetite. हमें आज भी रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का एग्जैक्ट कॉज क्लियर नहीं, बट देयर आर सेवरल रिस्क फैक्टर्स विच कैन प्रीडिस्पोज अ पर्सन टू रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस। और आइए देखिए ये रिस्क फैक्टर्स क्या है रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस। एनवायरमेंटल कॉजेज जैसे कि सर्टेन बैक्टीरिया और वायरसेस कैन ट्रिगर द डिजीज प्रोसेस। Genetic predisposition, rheumatoid arthritis can be passed through the family, although the risk is very small. Hormonal influences, pregnancy, breastfeeding, and use of hormone control pills in women can increase the risk of rheumatoid arthritis. Lastly, but not the least, lifestyle measures, जैसे कि smoking and obesity. These lifestyle measures are totally reversible and modifiable causes of rheumatoid arthritis. So we must pay adequate attention to smoking cessation, losing the weight by through lifestyle measures, etc. Let's see what are the complications. Rheumatoid arthritis इन लक्षण के अलावा क्या क्या कॉम्प्लिकेशंस प्रोड्यूस करता है ओवर ए लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम। इट कैन लीड टू ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस। ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस एक कंडीशन है जिसमें हड्डियां भुरभुरी हो जाती हैं एंड फ्रैक्चर रिस्क बढ़ जाता है। Rheumatoid nodules, these are lumps and bumps under the skin, most commonly found around the pressure points such as the elbows. Dryness of eyes and mouth. A patient with rheumatoid arthritis is more prone for infection. Carpal tunnel syndrome. Agar rheumatoid arthritis affects the wrist, the inflammation can compress the nerves supplying the hand and fingers, causing extreme pain. आपको कुछ लोगों को यह जान के आश्चर्य होगा कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस डबल्स द रिस्क ऑफ हार्ट प्रॉब्लम by causing endothelial dysfunction and accelerated atherosclerosis. Lungs can also become involved in rheumatoid arthritis in different fashions. There is slightly increased risk of lymphoma in patients with rheumatoid arthritis. Lymphoma is a kind of blood cancer. हमने ये जाना कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस क्या है, कैसे होता है, इसके क्या रिस्क फैक्टर हैं, क्या लक्षण हैं और क्या कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हो सकती हैं। बट अब हम एक बहुत अहम सवाल पर पहुंचते हैं कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस आखिर डायग्नोज कैसे। हमें ये कुछ बातें समझनी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, इसलिए आई विल स्पेंड सम टाइम ऑन डायग्नोसिस ऑफ रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस। रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का डायग्नोसिस एक स्पेशलिस्ट जिसे हम रूमेटोलॉजिस्ट कहते हैं, रूमेटोलॉजिस्ट इसका डायग्नोसिस करते हैं। फर्स्ट पॉइंट। सेकंड पॉइंट, रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का डायग्नोसिस किसी एक टेस्ट पर निर्भर नहीं है। ये डायबिटीज की तरह नहीं है कि हाई ब्लड शुगर हो गया तो रूमेटॉइड की डायबिटीज होगी। So rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis is not based on any one single thing. Third, the diagnosis depends on the patient's history, कि patient के symptoms लक्षण क्या हैं, और rheumatologist फिर अपने experience से उस हिस्ट्री को इंटरप्रेट कर फिजिकल एग्जामिनेशन कर कुछ ब्लड टेस्ट की मदद लेकर और इमेजिंग टेक्निक्स को यूज कर रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस के डायग्नोसिस पर अराइव करते हैं। पर डायग्नोसिस रूमेटॉइड होने से हमारे क्वेश्चन पूरा कंप्लीट नहीं होता। हमें ये भी जरूर जानना चाहिए कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस की डिजीज एक्टिविटी क्या है, किस स्टेज पर रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस। ये जानना इसलिए जरूरी है क्योंकि हमें इस पे ये निर्भर करता है कि हमें किस प्रकार का ट्रीटमेंट किस पेशेंट को देना है, और फॉलो विजिट पे ये देखने के लिए कि उस ट्रीटमेंट से पेशेंट को बेनिफिट हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ, या वी नीड टू मॉडिफाई आवर ट्रीटमेंट टू गेट एडिक्वेट बेनिफिट। एंड लास्ट पॉइंट डायग्नोसिस में ये है कि वी मस्ट हैव a holistic approach to the whole patient. We should not just concentrate on the joint and joint alone. एक टनल विजन नहीं होनी चाहिए. हमें होलिस्टिकली हर पेशेंट को देखना चाहिए. हमें ये भी देखना चाहिए कि उसको आर्थराइटिस के अलावा कुछ और बैकग्राउंड डिजीजेस तो नहीं चलते, because we need to take care of those diseases, and sometimes our treatment choices can also get influenced by those background diseases. Once rheumatoid arthritis has been diagnosed by the rheumatologist, it is very important to start treatment as soon as today. Don't delay, connect today. That is the slogan. Rheumatoid arthritis की मैनेजमेंट की हम बात करें तो वी हैव मेडिकल एंड सपोर्टिव ट्रीटमेंट फॉर ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस. तो इस ट्रीटमेंट के लक्ष्य क्या है, या इन अदर वर्ड्स व्हाट आर द गोल्स ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस? फर्स्ट एंड ऑब्वियस गोल इज टू रिड्यूस द पेन. पेन को हमें ठीक करना है, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट ब्रिंग्स द पेशेंट टू द डॉक्टर एंड दैट इज व्हाट कॉजेज इमीडिएट मिजरी टू द पेशेंट. To improve the physical function and obviously the quality of life, to decrease or stop further joint damage and disruption so that the joints continue to remain productive and helpful to us in our day-to-day life. And last but not the least is to avoid complications of rheumatoid arthritis. The medications which are used for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis are classified into three main groups. और मेरे को आपको ये बताते हुए बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस का ट्रीटमेंट हैज इवॉल्व्ड फ्रॉम द यूज ऑफ ए विलो बार्क टू एस्पिरिन टू एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी ड्रग्स टू मोर एडवांस्ड ऑप्शंस लाइक द डिजीज मॉडिफाइंग एंटी रूमेटिक ड्रग्स. नॉन स्टेरॉइडल एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी ड्रग्स, जिनको आप पेन रिलीवर्स या पेन किलर्स के नाम से जानते हैं, दे कैन रिड्यूस द पेन and reduce inflammation. But please note, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories do not change the course of the disease. They will not check the progression of the disease. They will not arrest the destruction, deformity of the joints, which is going to eventually happen if the disease is not controlled properly. And it is also very important to know that in long term, pain relievers, these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs have their own side effects, and we need to be cautious about these things. The second category जो है ड्रग्स की, वो है स्टीरॉइड्स. ये भी आप बहुत लोग आप इसके बारे में जानते हैं. These are effective means of treating the disease. They reduce inflammation and pain and also slow the joint damage. But again, the problem is over a long period of time, steroids can also have their own problems, and we need to be aware of them and to take adequate precautions and steps to prevent these from happening. The third treatment option, which has perhaps changed the outcome of rheumatoid arthritis and changed the face of this disease, are the disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs. These act by altering the underlying disease rather than treating the symptoms. The successful therapy with these drugs may eliminate the need for other anti-inflammatory and analgesic medicines. After the advent of DMARD therapy, most of the hospitals have discontinued with arthritis beds. We no longer need to admit majority of the patients in hospitals as we used to do in the past when these drugs were not available. Now the patient is admitted with very specific intention and for a very limited period of time, if at all admission is required. Treatment choice depends on several factors: the stage and severity of the person's condition, the balance between possible side effects and expected benefits, personal preference, and most importantly, the cost consideration. मैंने आपसे कुछ देर पहले गोल्स की बात करी, तो हम इन गोल्स को अचीव करने के लिए क्या टूल्स यूज कर सकते हैं या क्या हमारा टारगेट होना चाहिए. तो ये टारगेट हम ट्रीट टू टारगेट स्ट्रैटेजी यूज कर अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं. ट्रीट टू टारगेट स्ट्रैटेजी का मतलब ये है कि जब पेशेंट का हम डायग्नोज करते हैं, मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया, हम उसकी सीवियरिटी कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं, डिटरमिन कर लेते हैं कि किस सीवियरिटी की डिजीज है. सो वी नो एट बेसलाइन टाइम one needs to be regular with treatment and have a good connect with their rheumatologist. तो हम इस डिजीज को मेजर कैसे कर सकते हैं, मैं आपको एक मिनट ये भी बताना चाहूंगा. टुडे वी हैव एक्सीलेंट टूल्स, क्लिनिकल टूल्स, बेड साइड टूल्स कि जो हम क्लिनिक में बहुत सारे टेस्ट किए बिना डिजीज की सिविरिटी को हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. एंड वन सच टूल which is used by majority of rheumatologists all over the world is a DAS 28 score. यह स्कोर 2 से 10 की रेंज में होता है. For patients who have a score of more than 5.1, the disease is severe. 3.2 to 5.1 is a moderate disease. 2.6 to 3.2 is a mild disease, and less than 2.6 is remission. Remission, जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले बताया, means putting the disease to sleep. So our aim is to achieve a sustained remission, that remission which lasts over a long period of time and remains stable. However, in some cases, because of practical considerations, it is not possible to achieve remission. तो उसमें हमारा एक second best target होता है. That second best target is a low disease activity. Low disease activity means reducing the disease considerably and slowing the damage and preventing damage and complications from happening. The DMARDs, which are the disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs, are again divided into different categories. These are the synthetic DMARDs and include 4 different drugs: methotrexate, hydroxychloroquine, leflunomide, and sulfasalazine. For patients who fail to respond adequately to DMARDs, we have the next category of DMARD, synthetic DMARD. We have the next category of drugs which are known as biologic DMARDs. These act by blocking specific inflammatory pathways made by the immune cells and reduce the inflammation and arrest the damage caused by rheumatoid arthritis. In past few years, a new category of biologic DMARDs has become available, and they are known as JAK inhibitors. They are extremely effective form of therapy and very effective in treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. These can be used upfront, or they can be used after the synthetic DMARDs have failed, or after the biologic or biosimilar DMARDs have failed. Let's talk how do we use DMARDs. DMARDs start करने से पहले it is important to do certain baseline X-rays and blood tests so that the disease can be monitored and for safety reasons. During the treatment, we will again need to see the patient clinically and also repeat certain blood tests from a safety point of view and monitoring the disease. We need to know certain cautions with DMARDs. DMARDs are extremely effective drugs. By and large, their risk-benefit ratio is tilted in favor of benefit, which means the benefit overwhelming hai and the risk is really very small, but we need to be aware and careful so that we don't get into trouble with these drugs. So anyone who's starting treatment with these drugs needs to be closely monitored clinically and with blood tests. Certain types of vaccinations may not be safe while on DMARD, so you need to be in touch with your rheumatologist if such an eventuality arises. Some DMARDs are also not recommended if a woman is trying to conceive or trying to become pregnant, and they need to be discontinued few weeks to few months before planning such a thing. For patients who have deformities or other advanced forms of the disease, surgery may be required. But I am very happy to say कि आज हमारे पास इतनी अच्छी ड्रग्स हैं, अगर हम टाइमली ट्रीटमेंट करें, ट्रीट टू टारगेट स्ट्रैटेजी यूज करें, तो सर्जरी की बाय एंड लार्ज नीड बहुत कम हो गई है इन पेशेंट विद rheumatoid arthritis. So let's talk about the supportive therapies actually. What are the supportive therapies in the management of rheumatoid arthritis? These include physical and occupational therapy, exercises to keep the joints flexible, hot or cold therapy, modified activities of daily living for joint protection and to optimize stress and strain on the joint. Lifestyle changes can help in the management of rheumatoid arthritis. These include physical activity, stress reduction, joint protection, and a healthy diet. The benefits of physical activity include increasing joint range of motion, improve joint flexibility, reduce joint pain, increase bone and muscle strength, prevent heart disease and other medical complications, and also improve emotional and mental well-being. Physical activities one should consider activities like walking, swimming, cycling, strengthening of muscles like gentle weight training, and range of movement exercises. These are the do's and don'ts for exercises. Be sure of your exercise program that what are the good and safe exercises for you. Do wear well-fitting, shock-absorbing footwear suitable for activity. Do balance your exercise with rest, especially during a flare. Flare means you have disease, but that time you need to be careful so that you don't damage your joint unnecessarily. Stress can increase the risk of flare. Therefore, it is very important to manage stress. Take steps to understand and control stress. This can be done by finding out what causes the stress. Try and avoid things that cause stress. Make time for things that you enjoy. Share feelings with friends, family, or a support group. Try to relax in a quiet space each day. Healthy balanced diet can improve inflammation and symptoms of arthritis. An anti-inflammatory diet includes fish and other sources of omega-3 fats like olive oil and walnut, fresh fruits and vegetables, little or no saturated fat, fatty meals, and processed food. The daily recommended amount of vitamins and minerals, especially calcium and vitamin D, whole grains are also very healthy. What are the benefits of an anti-inflammatory diet? These include lowering of blood pressure, protection against chronic conditions ranging from cancer to stroke, help arthritis by curbing inflammation, benefit your joints as well as your heart, lead to weight loss, which makes a huge difference in managing joint pain. So it means that an anti-inflammatory diet has benefits beyond control of arthritis. So this should motivate all of us to follow this kind of diet in day-to-day life. Also, it is very important to take care of some of our lifestyle habits. If someone is consuming alcohol, they need to moderate the intake of alcohol. Smoking needs to be avoided completely. Let's talk about certain special situations in rheumatoid arthritis patients. Pregnancy is a very important and happy event in the life of a woman. The good news is a person with rheumatoid arthritis can have a successful pregnancy and outcome. During pregnancy, by and large, the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis settle down day a day, resulting in a comfortable period. However, there is a small risk of a flare after delivery, but by that time the baby is out and the disease can be treated. Doctors may recommend changing medications before a woman tries to conceive or as soon as a woman conceives. It is very important to know that with careful planning and advice from a doctor, women with rheumatoid arthritis can have successful and healthy pregnancy and delivery. So this is really very heartening that with modern treatment, we are able to fulfill this important aspiration in a woman's life. Let's talk about another hot topic these days, that is rheumatic diseases and COVID. A lot of people often ask us that we are suffering from arthritis and certain rheumatoid arthritis and other kinds of arthritis. And do we need to stop the disease modifying drugs or biologics or small molecules that we are taking because we may be more prone for the disease, and if it happens to us, it may be more disastrous. So as of date, there is no evidence that those with rheumatic diseases have a higher risk of contracting the coronavirus. There is also no evidence that those with rheumatic disease have a worse course than general population. There is no recommendation to withhold the use of DMARD in rheumatic patients without COVID. In fact, even in the midst of this pandemic, it is recommended that patients with rheumatic diseases should be treated as usual as they would have time was not. I think that's all that I need to touch with you today here in this webinar. Now I think we've more time. No, good, that's good. Let's take up the questions which some of you have already posted. If you want to ask a question and you have not posted it, kindly please type the question and we can start answering those questions. So there's a question that how to overcome rheumatoid arthritis. So I will try, I've answered this question, but I will try to address it again in a very short manner. So to overcome rheumatoid arthritis, there are a couple of things that we need to know. We must have a good diagnosis, a firm diagnosis, a confirmed diagnosis by a specialist, because it should be sure that this is the disease and nothing else. Because the management, the treatment decisions are based on the diagnosis, as we said. First thing. Second, we must also assess the disease activity at diagnosis. That what is the severity of our disease? Is it a mild disease, it's a moderate disease, or a severe disease? Why it is important? Because it decides our treatment choice. What treatment needs to be given to a particular patient. It is also important to be aware of the comorbidities which a patient has. Comorbidities का मतलब है कि और कोई बीमारी तो नहीं हमें चल रही, because that may again influence the choice of. It is also important to know the activity at onset because that helps us to monitor the disease. कि जब हमने ट्रीटमेंट किया और नेक्स्ट फॉलो विजिट पे उस ट्रीटमेंट से डिजीज एक्टिविटी में कितना फर्क पड़ा या नहीं, दैट वी विल नो ओनली इफ वी हैव measured that. A very important point is that we must try and diagnose the disease early. Start early treatment which is target and goal oriented, which is driven towards the target. So target क्या है हमारा rheumatoid arthritis में? Ideal target is remission. Remission means putting the disease to sleep. If for some practical reason we are not able to achieve remission, so the next best target is low disease activity. And again, I would like to emphasize that in today's world, with the good treatment options that we have, it is possible to achieve remission. By starting early treatment, by having a targeted approach towards remission, we can prevent deformities and destruction of joints, remain productive for ourselves, our family, and the society, and lead a good quality of life. Next question is the medicines के effect can. We have already discovered and discussed that there are three main categories of drugs. First are the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, which are pain relievers. They are effective to some extent in controlling the pain and inflammation, but they do not change the direction of the disease or the course of the disease, which means if the disease has to progress, it will progress if we are just using pain relievers. The second category of drugs which we have discovered and discussed was steroids. Steroids are effective. They reduce pain, inflammation, and also slow down the disease, and also work on the causes of the arthritis. But over a long period of time, steroids can have undesirable effects, and we need to be careful with these. The third category of drugs are the disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs, the DMARDs. The DMARDs again are of different kinds: synthetic DMARDs, the biologic DMARDs, the biosimilar DMARDs, and the small molecule. Usually, the patient is first started on a synthetic DMARD, and in synthetic DMARD also we start sometimes with a monotherapy, or depending on the situation, we can start with combination therapy. Combination therapy means that we use one or more than one drug for controlling the disease. And if the patient fails to respond adequately, and if we are unable to meet that target, then we need to revise our treatment strategy and move on to other categories like the biologics, the biosimilars, or the small molecules. A decision which is often made in consultation with the patient. and their desires and personal preferences. By and large, I've told you DMARDs are safe drugs, but one needs to be careful. One needs to be in constant touch with their treating doctor, monitor the uh, disease clinically, and also from time to time have certain blood tests done for monitoring the side effects and also the disease. Next question is foot pain, knee stiffness, and stiffness in the neck. I have rheumatoid arthritis from last 14-15 years, and I have lost weight, and now I am 64 kg of weight. Good question. So by and large, the good thing about rheumatoid arthritis is that it spares the back. It is very infrequent that rheumatoid arthritis will involve the spine. It generally involves the peripheral joints like the shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, hips, ankles, and the small joints of fingers and toes. It's very unusual for the disease to involve the spine. Sometimes it can involve the high cervical spine, the C1 and the C2 vertebra, but that will cause pain high up in the back of the head and not in the back. So in your case, most likely the stiffness of the neck may be due to other reasons. It appears that you have long-standing rheumatoid arthritis from last 14 to 15 years. If you have lost weight, one should look into other causes of weight loss also, like the nutritional causes, the diet, or if there is another intercurrent illness which is there. In general, we want that the patient should have an appropriate weight for their height. One should not be overweight because the joints get overloaded. And there are other complications of obesity which can happen in anyone. Next question is, I am on anti-rheumatic drugs for almost 12 years. My main complaint is excruciating pain in right heel whenever I stand up after sitting. I have even tried to exercise, but my heel pain worsens, and now I am experiencing skin pigmentation and darkening too. Again, these are many questions woven into one, so I'll try to take them up one by one. So your main complaint is excruciating pain in the right heel whenever you stand up, which means that on weight bearing you have pain in your heel. Now the heel has several components. The heel has a tendon at the back which is known as tendoachilles, and it gets inserted into a heel bone which is known as calcaneum. So it may be possible that the tendon may be inflamed causing tendinitis. Actually, it will depend on the site of your heel pain. If the pain is in the back of your heel, then it is more likely that you have a tendinitis or a tendinopathy which needs to be treated. If the heel pain is at the bottom of your foot, most likely which it appears to be like your pain increases. So there may be a small spur inside. Spur means कि थोड़ी हड्डी बढ़ गई है. And when you stand up, it causes pressure and causes pain. Again, that can be managed conservatively. So heel pain may or may not be related to rheumatoid arthritis, and we will need to assess that what is the exact cause of heel pain. However, you say that you're on exercises, your heel pain increases, which means I'm presuming that you're exercising in the standing position with weight on your feet. So what you can do, you can use other forms of exercise where the weight is not on the heel. You can sit and do aerobic exercises. You can do cycling, and when you keep your foot on the paddle, be careful not to put your feet on the paddle, and you can do those exercises. And lastly, you can do some range of movement exercises. An example of range of movement exercises is also available on our YouTube channel by the name of Dr. Ashit Singhal. You are all welcome to access it, use it, and share it. It is absolutely free and can be used very effectively. Next question is, okay. Some of you may have had challenges in reaching us during times of the pandemic, which we realized we are trying to help you by offering video consultations. and sometimes the video consultation timings also do tend to get little delayed because of ongoing pressures in the clinic, but we try to assist you to the best of our ability. We all have to bear in mind and cooperate with each other because we are passing through very tough times, and this is not an ordinary time in the history of mankind, and perhaps one of the most challenging times for human beings, and we need to cooperate with each other and move forward. The next comment is that outstation patients face difficulty in getting medicines prescribed in local market, which I totally agree and agree with you. Perhaps the main reason is that some of you come visit us from very long, far off distances and interiors where there are no rheumatologists available, and some of the drugs which rheumatologists prescribe are not available with the local chemist, and hence you may be facing. So my always suggestion to all of you is try and buy the medicines at a local level and take them with you. Also carry the business card of the chemist whom you are dealing with, and a lot of these chemists are also very cooperative, and they do send couriers of the medicine if you make appropriate arrangements with them well in advance. Okay, someone is asking about the exercises. Okay, we have already covered regarding the exercises, but the main kind of exercises which can should be done are two kinds of exercises. I just cover them again. One are the exercises for general physical and mental health. So these are aerobic exercises like walking, cycling, swimming. So they are also very important, not only for the joint but for our cardiopulmonary fitness and for preventing other diseases and managing them. The second specific kinds of exercise which a rheumatoid arthritis patient needs are muscle strengthening exercises and range of movement exercise. So for a new patient who has pain, one should start exercise in a very gentle manner. One could spend few minutes initially per day, and you could also repeat the same exercise number of times and gradually keep on adding more and more exercises depending on your comfort level. And ultimately, I am sure majority of you should be able to do good range of exercises and also to build up your stamina and muscle bone strength, and that will have very desirable consequences on your health. And the other thing is a lifestyle to get rid of arthritis. Okay, I think we have covered this, but just to repeat if the person has joined late, is the lifestyle we need to follow a healthy lifestyle, which should have a good diet like an anti-inflammatory diet, which we have already discussed, rich in omega-3, uh, should have colored fruits and vegetables, have a high fiber content, low fat, and avoiding processed food. Avoid putting on weight because weight ultimately uh, gets transmitted to the joints, especially the weight bearing points like the hips, knees, and ankles. Second, one must exercise regularly for cardiopulmonary benefits, for reducing weight, for managing arthritis. If someone is smoking, they need to stop smoking immediately and completely because smoking increases the risk of arthritis, makes the arthritis less amenable to treatment, and the response is poor. And smoking can also lead to several other complications, especially in the lung. I think that answers. And I think there are two couple of other things which I must mention in the lifestyle is one should try and avoid infections. If one does unfortunately contract an infection, one should try and take early treatment so that the immune process does not get triggered. It's also very important to remain relaxed. Stress contributes to significant pain, and by following lifestyle measures like meditation, one can get rid of stress and also have a beneficial effect on the joint. Okay, next comment is that I am on methotrexate but still have pain in this joint. Okay. So it appears that while on methotrexate, your disease is inadequately controlled. So during your next visit, you should discuss with us the options which you should be exercising to upgrade your treatment and get rid of the pain and conquer the disease. The other question is, do biologicals have side effects? See, there are any drug in this world has side effects, whether these are rheumatic drugs, diabetic drugs, antihypertensive drugs, anti-cancer drugs, cardiac drugs. I don't think there is a drug in the world which does not have side effects. But the question remains uh, whether the risk of a side effect is more or the beneficial effect is more. So if a drug has beneficial effects which outweigh the risk, then one needs to consider these and be aware of the side effects so that one can avoid them. And if they do occur, one can quickly discontinue the therapy. The most important side effects with biologicals and biosimilars can cause, especially in a country like ours, is reactivation of tuberculosis. So whenever we start or intend starting treatment with a biological, we screen the patient nicely with the help of history, whether there's a past history of tuberculosis or not, because India has a high incidence of tuberculosis. Then we screen the patient for some viral infections, for urinary tract infections, for chest infection, and also for tuberculosis. And at the end of this exercise, then we conclude whether a patient is eligible for a biological, biosimilar, or a small molecule treatment. The tests which are usually done for tuberculosis are a chest X-ray, a Mantoux test, and a quantiferin TB. Based on these, we are reasonably sure whether a patient has the disease and what kind of treatment needs to be followed. Mm, what molecule should be chosen. I think these are just all the questions that I could see in the question box. I guess there are no other questions. So the other thing which I wish to little bit tell you a small story, since we have time. Actually, we finished quite well in time. Is the fact that we said that untreated rheumatoid arthritis can cause disruption, deformity, and alter our quality of life, and also sometimes can restrict our work and cause work capacity impairment. You might have heard of a very famous doctor by the name of Dr. Christian Barnard. Doctor Christian Barnard was based in South Africa, and in 1967 he performed the world's first human cardiac transplant, which was successful. So it made world news headlines. Obviously, because it's such a heroic surgery and some human being doing it in such a successful manner called for celebration. However, most of us do not know that after that heroic surgery, we did not hear about this great surgeon ever again. Do you know the reason why that happened? Unfortunately, Dr. Christian Barnard had rheumatoid arthritis, which afflicted his joint, peripheral joint, like those of the hands. And because of the symptoms, because of the disease, he was unable to perform surgery again. And such a big talent was lost to this world because of rheumatoid arthritis. Similarly, there are very illustrious painters in this world who suffered from rheumatoid arthritis. But somehow, since their profession was different, they could overcome that with their willpower and continue to paint and give their creations to this world. Closer to home, we have another very living example. Dr. Arvind was an eye surgeon working in the defense forces. He had rheumatoid arthritis. After his retirement, he started a good chain of eye hospitals, which provided very good care to the majority of people at a very reasonable cost. Dr. Arvind unfortunately suffered from rheumatoid arthritis, but he had such a strong willpower and his resolve to follow his profession passionately and to work for the community was so strong that he designed special instruments to operate, and he successfully could operate with those specially designed instruments. He especially was very good at cataract surgery, which means that he gave second sight to many of the people who came to him with cataract, and they could successfully have a restored vision. Not only that, Dr. Arvind left behind a very successful chain of institutions who to this day continue to provide care and comfort in the field of ophthalmology to patients all over the country. They also train doctors. They also make lenses which get exported overseas. So these are some of the real life examples of rheumatoid arthritis. Dr. Christian Bernard, several painters, Dr. Arvind closer to our home, to us, Indian. And so I wanted you to know about all these also, so to realize that what this disease is, what are its consequences, and how does one manage it. I think we've had a good session, and I would like to thank you all for sparing your time to attend this webinar and asking us questions, clearing your doubts. I hope I've been able to clear at least some of your doubts. You can all do your homework, and if you have any more questions and concerns, bring them to us in the clinic, and we will try to address those. Stay happy, stay safe. Thank you all, and goodbye.